Welcome to the Tiffany Micah podcast. What we do here is build the strength and courage in you to accomplish your big dreams and goals in your sport. No longer will you feel limited. You won't feel you're not good enough. You won't question whether you will make it, and those doubts will disappear because you will have the competitive edge over your opponents and you'll leave them in your wake. And the bonus is, others will notice. So listen up and take notes because I'll show you exactly how to do it. Hey there, this is Tiff and welcome to the Tiffany Micah podcast. What I've got coming up for you is we're going to be talking about going after your big dream in sport, and I'm going to share with you actually how you can do that. Now, I've actually recorded this as a video, so you can actually see this on my YouTube channel as well. I am going to relaunch and start sharing a lot of more video content as well. So this particular one that will follow, I've actually done a video on it because I can show you exactly how I've worked it out, but you can still listen to this, so I want you to listen to it as well. Get out your notebook and get ready for it. You'll also have heard the evaluation for the third quarter. I actually did the same there. I actually recorded a video for that too, that you can go and check out on my YouTube channel, or you can actually come, if you go to tiffany-micah.com and you actually go to the, on the front page, you scroll down, it has a Tiffany Micah podcast show. Click on that. That'll actually take you through to the podcast, but it will also have the video on that actual page for you as well. So you can either listen to me or you can watch and see how I lay out how you can actually, one is evaluate your third quarter, so I showed you how to do that. And this one for currently, this one today that you're going to be listening to, I have actually stood in front of a whiteboard and laid it all out for you, how you can actually go after your big dream in your sport. So I hope you enjoy today's episode. Love it if you could share with me what you like best about what you hear through this, and also share with me what your big dream is, because I want to hear from you. So enjoy and dream big, believe in you, and go after your dreams. Hey there, this is Tiff here and welcome to today's episode. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be working on your big dream. And I want you to be thinking, really big here. And what I mean by your big dream, I'm talking about your big dream in your sport. Okay, we'll do a life one later on. But what I want you to be thinking is, I want you to be thinking what your big dream is for your sport. Where is it that you really want to go? Okay, because what we want to do is we want to identify where we're at first. Okay, that's you. And what we're going to do is we're going to go on this path. Okay, and we're going on this upward journey towards where our big dream is. So I want you to be thinking, what is your big dream? What is it that you really do want to achieve? Is it you want to be a sports, professional sports person, right, for your sport? Do you want to be number one in the world for your sport? Right, we're talking about big dreams, not just being just a professional in your sport. Let's go all in, okay? What else? You want endorsements? Right? You want to be recognised, right, as the best? Right, recognised as the best. What else do you want? You want to be travelling the world, right? Doing something that you absolutely love, right? You want to be like dominating. You want to be the best player, right? Untouchable, right? Why not? Let's think big, hey? Untouchable, right? You want to be the ultimate, right? The ultimate athlete. So if that's your big dream, and you're here where you are, and you might be just playing at a local level sport right now, but you've got this big dream of this is where you want to go, I want you to be thinking big like this. And the reason why is because if you don't think big like this, you're actually going to be limited in the way that you think, because what will actually happen is that you'll let other people's limitations stop you. Because if you say, oh, I want to be a professional athlete in my sport, or I want to be the number one in the world in my sport, I want to have endorsements like sponsorships, I want to be recognised as the best, I want to travel the world, I want to be untouchable. And if you're saying these things to people, you've got to be prepared that they're actually going to say, oh no, that's not going to happen for you. Or, no, you won't be able to achieve that. Or, no, it's all right for someone else to do it, but not for you. And I don't want you to be limited by what other people think, because that's what actually happened to me. When I was pursuing my tennis career when I was 19, well, leading up to 19 and 20, because 20 was actually when I gave up on me with my tennis career. But when I was pursuing my tennis career, I'd have a lot of people say, oh no, well, you'll never make it. You're not good enough. And they would say things to me because I wanted to be the professional tennis player. I didn't want to be just that professional. I want to be number one in the world. I wanted to have endorsements and get sponsorships and get paid to play tennis. Why not? What a fantastic thing to do. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to be untouchable. I wanted to be recognised as the best. But when I turned 20, guess what I did? I gave up on me because I actually listened to other people. I listened to what they thought. I listened to their limitations of, oh no, it's not good enough for you, Tiff. You're not good enough. You'll never make it. And because I allowed that in, and that happened from, the age of about 12, 13, I started to listen to people. I even went to a tennis academy when I was 18 to get help, with performing better in my sport. And I actually got worse and I couldn't understand why, right? And the reason that I couldn't understand it, I wanted all of this. The reason I couldn't understand why was I didn't know how to plan out my big dream, right? And what we're going to do today is we're going to be planning out our big dream, okay? Because I think this is a really good time to do it. We're 3/4 of the way through the year. I want you to be really thinking about not only what you want to achieve for the end of the quarter, because we want to obviously finish the year off strong, but I want you to go for this, okay? I want you to go for the big stuff. Someone else is doing it, why can't you? They're no different to you, really. They're another human being. You're the same as them. You probably have this really good skill level as well. But in order for you to get there, we've got to do some work on how we're going to get there, okay? So I'm going to assume, and you can make this adjustment for yourself, but I'm going to assume that you're a local level sports person, okay? So you're just at the local level right now, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, being at the local level, like grassroots level, that's fine, because we've all got to start somewhere. But if we're here and we want to get up to here, right, and be the best, oops, we don't want 3 legs, do we? And we want to be the best, what is it that we've got to do to get there? So what I want you to be thinking of is in phases. I like to work in phases. I got this phase step idea from a book that I read a while ago. But let's work in phases, okay? So this is phase 1, right? Phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, which is this one. This one here, the big dream, that's phase 5, okay? So we'll just put it down there so you know. That's where we're headed. Some big stuff going on to get to phase 5 though, all right? We've got to do a lot of work, okay? So here we are at local level. So what we want to be thinking about, well, what is it, where have we got to go for phase 1 to actually happen? Well, let's say that what you want to do is you want to be able to play at regional level, okay? So in your region, so I'll go regional level. What you want to do is you want to up the level, all right? So you're at local level, you're competing in the local tournaments and competitions and everything, but we've got to push you. We've got to push you into that regional level, okay? And I'll tell you how we'll work that out in a minute. So then phase 2, if we go from regional level, what's the next step that we'd go to? Well, we'd probably go to state level, okay? Right, so that'd be the next step that we'd be working on. So I don't want you to be overwhelmed by this at the moment, I just want you to be thinking about it, all right? So then, where do we go from state level? Well, we go from state level, we go to national level, don't we? So national competitions and so on. Now, I want you to think, whatever your sport is, I want you to be thinking about those steps, okay? Don't be freaked out of like, oh gosh, how am I going to get there? We'll work that out, all right? We just want to work out where we're going to go first, right? From the beginning to the big dream, okay? So what's the next phase? Okay, so the next phase is world level, isn't it? Right? Competing at a world level. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're number one yet, but you're competing, you're a professional and you're competing. That's the next step though. Step 5, which is phase 5, is all of that actually happening, okay? So we've got the local level of where you're at right now. I better pop into the camera so you can see me. Local level. Then phase 1's our regional level. Phase 2's our state level. Phase 3's our national level. Phase 4's world level. Okay, so you're competing on the world stage. Phase 5 is that big dream. Okay, so the thing is though, is how are we going to do that? How are we going to get from the local level to the regional level? Because what I want you to do now is I want you to have this vision in your mind and draw it out. Like, I like visuals. I like seeing things like this. This is called an ambition line. I quite like it. I got this from Brendan Bouchard at one of his courses that I did. And I really like that visual because we're on the way up, aren't we? We're on the way to doing something really grand and something really great. So we need those phases in place. So what I want you to think about now, let's don't worry about phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 and phase 5. Let's break it down and let's just work on phase 1, okay? Because in order for us to get up to there, we've got to break it down and we've actually got to come back to phase 1 and we've got to get phase 1 sorted out, okay? So what I want you to be thinking about with phase 1, well, sorry, I'm going to take it a step back. I forgot to mention a step for you. What I want you to do here at the local level, even before we've started, what we want to do is we want to do like a baseline reality check, okay? Baseline, I call it baseline reality check. Now, the reason that I call it a baseline reality check is the baseline as in tennis, but it's our starting point. So we've got to be thinking about where are we starting from? Well, we're starting here at this local level. Now, if you're further along the line, that's fine. Then you just change the phases to suit where you're at, okay? I'm just going to assume you're at local level and you want to do those big grand things, but you're just starting out, okay? So we need to do a baseline reality check. And what I mean by that is we've actually got to have a really good look at where we're at, okay? So what I want you to write in detail is a description of where you're at in your sport. Where you are at. It's quite simple. Okay? So write a description of where you're at in your sport. Now, what I want you to do is like, okay, my skill level is at this level, I'm at local level, I'm struggling in these skills, these other skills are working really well, my mindset's not great, or I'm really struggling to focus. I want you to write down in how you're going in your competitions, just a detailed, like I said, a detailed description of what's actually going on for you right now. And then what we want to then do from that, so once you've answered that, then we've got to look at, okay, well, how are we going to get to the regional level? What is it that we need to do to get to regional level? How am I going to compete at regional level? Okay, so the second step is what we want to do. Step number 2 is we're going to ask the question, how do I get to regional level? Okay. Now, if you're already at regional level and you're looking at going to the state level in your sport, then do it that way. Okay. Then you ask the question, how do I get to state level? If you're already at state level, then you just ask the question, how do I get to national level? Okay. By us asking questions, we start looking for the answers. Because if you go, oh, well, why aren't I playing at state level already? Or why aren't I playing at regional level already? And the reason for that will be is because you'll start answering with answers like, well, that's because you're a really bad player or you're just not good enough and all of that. So what that ends up happening is that you start getting really negative and then you go, oh yeah, that's right. That's why I'm still at local level, or that's why I'm still at regional level, because I'm just not good enough. So all this negativity starts coming about and you start thinking and having this negative self-talk. And if you start thinking that you're not good enough, guess what happens when you start competing? Oh yeah, told you I'm not good enough. That's why I keep losing. That's why I'm not doing as well as the others. Even though I know my level, my skill levels is just as good as theirs. That's why I'm not doing so well. So we need to make sure that the questions that you ask are quality questions, okay? So, number one, I'm just going to remind you, number one, baseline reality check. So I want you to do a description of where you are, okay? Do the description first. Then number two, how do I get to regional level? What is it that I need to do? Okay, so let's have a think about it. What is it that you need to do to get to regional level? Well, one of them is, do you need to get coaching? Okay, and I'm talking about coaching for your skills. All right, and I'm talking about your physical skills for your sport. Skills for sport. There's a lot of information that's got to go on here, isn't there? Okay, so number one, I want you to be thinking about, okay, do I need to improve my skills? Do I need coaching? Yeah, I do. So that's what you've got to do. You've got to go and get some coaching, okay, on the skills so that you're actually improving it. Number two, do I need to, so let's look at the training aspect. And what I'm talking about training, I'm talking about the fitness element of your sport, okay? So do you need to go and work out? Yeah, most likely you'll need to go and work out and get the fitness element organised as well, won't you? So you may need to go and get a personal trainer. You may need to go and just do some sessions, in group classes at the moment to build up your fitness. You may need to go and talk to your coach about, okay, well, what sort of specific exercises or training exercises do I need to do? What kind of cardio work do I need to do? What kind of weight training do I need to do? What kind of flexibility exercises do I need to do? Make sure, I'm going to say to you now, make sure you do your flexibility. However old you are, do it now, because as you get older like me, because I'm 49 now, I'm noticing all the sport I've played over the years, I was heavily, pursuit of a tennis career, pursuit a golf career, played cricket, rowing, t-ball, baseball, softball, touch football, soccer. I've played a lot of sports. I was a bit lazy when it came to the flexibility side. So it's catching up with me now. So I've got to make sure that I'm really looking after my body. So do it really early on. So we need to look at cardio, we need to look at weight training, we need to look at resistance training. Do you need high intensity workouts? Do you need to have flexibility? Do you need to be doing yoga? All of that. Okay, I want you to be thinking, do I need to do all of that? Okay, yes, I do. All right, number three. What else do you need to do? Mental skills. These would probably be the most important ones out of all of them, these three elements right now for you, mental skills. Because, do you know the difference between a person like a world number 1 athlete in the world versus a number 10 or a number 20 or a number 50 or a number 100 in the world? It's not going to be their skills. Their skills are all going to be pretty similar. It's going to be the mental skills, okay? The ones that are number 1 in the world, they believe so deeply that they are are and can do anything, and they're unstoppable. So in order for you to feel that way, right, and in order for you to get there, you're going to have to work on your mental skills as well. Incredibly important. I don't care if you're just starting out in your sport, it's so important that you work on your mental skills. I can't tell you enough. Now, if you work on your mental skills in your sport, you know what also happens? It starts coming up in other areas of your life, because you are a human being. It's not just about your sport. I know that that's what you ultimately want to do. You've got this big dream here. But it's not just about the sport itself. What you're actually doing, if you learn how to do a lot of things from a mental point of view that's going to help your sport, that's actually going to help you in your life. So what sort of mental skills do we need to be working on? I'll tell you a few. One is you need to develop really deep belief in you. So if you don't believe that you can do anything, guess what? You're right. So you need to make sure that you've got that deep belief that you can do anything. Okay, so we need to develop that. That I'll share in the Get Focused program, so you'll keep your eye out for that one. What else do you need? You need confidence. You need to be ultimately confident, right? You need to be so confident that when you step onto the court, or you're about to step on the swimming blocks to dive into the pool and take on your opponents, or you're even in a team in soccer or lacrosse or football or soccer, whatever it is, you need to have to be supremely confident, so that what you're actually doing is you're making your team tremble, okay? Your opposition team tremble, or your opponents tremble when you step on the court. So we need to make sure that you have ultimate confidence. What else do you need? You need to have positive self-talk. If you're telling yourself that you're not good enough all the time, what's that? That's negative self-talk, isn't it? So we need to make sure that you're very positive about how you look at yourself. Don't worry about what anyone else says. It's what you believe, okay? Not what they believe, it's what you believe, right? What you believe. What else do you need to look at? Focus. So many people don't know how to focus. That was my biggest thing when I was pursuing my tennis career. I really struggled with focus. I struggled so much with focus that I gave up on tennis, because one, I didn't believe in me. That was the ultimate thing. Gave up on me at the ripe old age of 20. So if you're 20, I don't want you to give up on you. You can do this, and I can show you ways in how you can get there. But that was a big thing, not believing. And the second thing was focus. I really struggled to focus. And what I did was I've learned how to do that over the years through all the teaching that I've done, because I've taught lots of different sports. I do specialise in tennis and golf these days. Tennis was always my true love, and golf especially in the last 10 years been teaching golf. But from a mental point of view, if you don't know how to focus, you're going to be cactus. You're going to find it really difficult. If you don't know how to concentrate in those moments when you need to be concentrating on your sport, and your mind drifts off to somewhere else, you're going to struggle at that as well, okay? So we need to make sure that we've got the concentration, the focus element in place. Again, that'll come up in the Get Focused program. What else? There's another one, isn't there? What is it? Performing under pressure. So if you crumble under pressure, if you're out there and you're only here at local level and you're already crumbling under pressure and you get really nervous, you need strategies in how to deal with that. Again, that comes up in the Get Focused program, but mental skills, okay? So you can see that there's mental skills. So even if you just do these first three, right? So you get coaching, go to a good coach that knows how to help you get to where you want to go. Even if they can only get you to state level, that's a good step, okay? So you want people that are better to take you further. You want to be mixing. Here's another one, number 4, one more. You want to be mixing with people that are better than you, okay? Mixing with peers. Better than you. Better than you. Just squeeze that in there, okay? So you need to be mixing with peers that are better than you as well. Why? Because that ups your level. So not only that we're looking at the coaching, so if you go to a really good coach that's going to help increase your skill level, then also you get information on how to improve your fitness in your sport. So you need to do that, whether you go to a personal trainer, you go to the local gym, you ask your coach, go and study it on the internet, go and see what all the top athletes are doing. Go and find out what their training programs are. Then the mental skills. What are the mental skills? Belief, confidence, focus, concentration, being able to handle the pressure, overcoming nerves, being able to win and not lose, isn't it? And then number 4, mixing with peers that are better than you. So those people that you admire, go and spend more time with them. Go and learn how to train with them. Ask them if you can train with them, because it's going to up your level, okay? Now that's just the first phase in regional level. Then once you've got to regional level, guess what you do? You then work on that for state level, and then you ask the same questions. What else do I need to do? What are the strategies that I need to implement? We do the same for national and world level so that we can get to that big dream, okay? But let's start at phase 1 first. Let's work on phase 1. Once you get to phase 1, then what you do is then you work to phase 2. Once you get to phase 2, work to phase 3 to phase 4, big dream. And that's what we want, that lovely big dream, don't we? Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Love it if you could share with me what you like best about what you heard today. I'd really appreciate that. And also, if you've got friends that you know that would benefit from these episodes, I'd really appreciate too if you could share these episodes with your friends, because we want to build the Reach Your Potential with Tiff community as big as we possibly can. And if you've just got 30 seconds to spare, I'd really appreciate what value you're getting out of these videos, and share that with me as well on these episodes. So, in saying that, what are we going to do? We're going to dream big. We're going to believe in you, because I want you to believe in you, and I want you to go after those big dreams, okay? So have an absolutely awesome day. Take care. Talk soon. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you haven't yet downloaded the #1 deadly mistake athletes make sure you go to tiffany-mika.com and download the #1 deadly mistake athletes make, because I don't want you to make that mistake. If you can also share with me what you like best about what you heard, where you hear this episode, in the comments section. If you can also share with your friends that you know that would benefit from these episodes, and please leave a 5-star review where you hear these episodes, because I would really appreciate it. Dream big, believe in you, and go after your dreams. Have an awesome day.